This is a 2010 Mercedes-Benz C63 AMG. Based off Mercedes' most affordable lineup, the C-Class, the C63 AMG, however, is a lion disguised as a house cat. When Jeremy Clarkson drove the C63 AMG, he described it as an axe murderer with headlights. So is this relatively subtle-looking Mercedes-Benz, who are known for refined luxury, really an axe murderer? Yes. Yes, it is. The C63 AMG is running a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine ran through a 7-speed automatic transmission. This C63 AMG, however, has the performance pack, which ups the horsepower from a stock 451 to 480 with 443 pound-foot of torque, and 0 to 60 times in around 4 seconds. Back in 2008, when the C63 AMG was first introduced, it was almost inconceivable that Mercedes-Benz would take its most entry-level vehicle and throw a huge V8 in it alongside an AMG badge. But the concept somehow worked, and it really worked. The C63 AMG was put up head-to-head to take on the BMW M3 and the Audi RS4. While only available as a sedan until 2011, I strongly feel that this is one of the rare examples where the sedan actually looks better than the coupe. With performance, looks, practicality, and that sound, this really was the whole package. So today I'm going to show you around the C63 AMG, and I'm going to show you some of its best and worst aspects, and then we're going to get this thing out on the road and see how it handles. Alright, so up in the front of the C63 AMG in here, you've got these wicked, really hugging sport seats up the front here that are actually quite comfortable as well. They're adjustable. You've got 3 buttons here on the side. You also have your up-downs on the side door here as well. Also in here we've got a head unit. Now obviously this is a 2010, so a lot of the stuff on here is a bit dated, but you know, we have the typical Mercedes scroll wheel in here. Probably one of the biggest drawbacks, in my opinion, with the interior of this car is just the radio fascia here. And all Mercedes, and even to this day, they still do this. They kind of put this cheap plastic bit where the radio controls are, but everything else in the car is absolutely beautiful and of the highest quality. It really kind of defeats the purpose. I don't know why they keep putting this in. Mercedes really needs to start changing that. Coming up to the steering wheel, you've got this nice flat bottom on the wheel to really give it sort of more of that sporty feel. And the wheel itself is a nice shape. It's a nice thickness to grab, and it's all wrapped in this nice leather as well. You come behind the wheel, and you have these actually very solid metal flappy paddles here for when you're in manual mode. Alright, so in the back of the C63 AMG, now this is sort of a mid-size category sedan here. Now the back seats, they're not huge, but they're definitely practical. They're definitely usable. You have some cutouts here for your knees. And this is in a normal seating position. And I mean, feet my feet room is a little bit tight, but my knees, I've got space here. Headroom, yeah, I've got a bit of headroom here. I'm about 6 foot, just under 6 foot. So if you're around that height, shouldn't be any problems being back here. Pull down, we have a center armrest here. You can lift this up, provides you a little bit of a storage area here. Another button there. 2 cup holders. Put those back in here. We've got 2 climate control vents down at the base here, and they have digital controls with fan speed buttons as well, which is nice. So driving the C63 AMG. Now, this car is a head turner. We've already had a few admirers today just doing some drone footage up and down here. It's no wonder when you look at this thing and you hear this thing. So I'm just in comfort mode right now, and like I've been saying, it's just super smooth. It just runs like a normal Mercedes would, that I would expect it to. How I would expect a normal Mercedes to drive. The gears are smooth, the changes are smooth, the ride quality is good. So in sport mode, the suspension does stiffen up a little bit. The gears drop down a little bit quicker. They rev out a bit longer. Essentially if you had it in manual mode, but you don't have to do any of the work. Just another weird quirk about this car. When you're driving it, there's no stalk at all on the right hand side. So like generally you'll have like your wiper and your turn arm here somewhere, and it'll be on either side, so you have a left stalk and a right stalk next to your steering wheel. In this car, there's nothing on the right hand side. So it's just, you've got your wipers that are on the top, and then you've got your turn signals underneath that stalk, which makes for a kind of confusing configuration when you first start here, but just something you'll have to get used to. It's just got that really nice V8 naturally aspirated sound that, everybody loves that sound. And, you've got torque for days. Power is everywhere. You step on the gas, it's instant. And they're just a joy to drive. These big V8s, they're kind of a dying breed right now, but man, they're good. Now, just pulling up to a light here in the C63 AMG, and I gotta say, I'm in sport mode still. Now, I've stopped, and the ride is just so quiet in here. Nothing's rattling, nothing's noisy. You can't even hear the engine, barely hear the engine. And it's just so nice in here. It's just peaceful. And the minute this light goes green and you hit the gas, it turns into a totally different beast. Just one particular thing to mention in this car again is just when you're in sport mode, the transmission does not like to be going slow. It wants you to really step on the gas, and it rewards you for that. But when you slow down to a crawl, you can kind of notice that the transmission fumbles a little bit and says, okay, if you're gonna go slow, put me back into comfort. Man, this car just feels so planted. Just like any typical Mercedes, the steering feels really nice. It's heavy. I love the feel of the steering. The wheel just feels really nice. It's a perfect size. And this car, it just feels so well planted on the ground. I feel like, you hit the gas, and you got to be careful of the back end, but this car feels really stable, and it handles surprisingly well. Oh yeah, this thing can be a beast. That glorious sound. You've got great practicality in this car. You've got totally usable back seats. The styling of this car just is perfect. You're comfortable. You've got all the performance you want. It's not a manual. Yes, that can be a drawback, but this transmission performs really well. It shifts quickly. You've got your 3 modes here. You've got comfort, which just handles so practical. You've got your sport mode, which is just perfect if you want to pass somebody on the highway, or just want to go for a little quick rip around the hills. And then you've got the manual with the Tiptronic paddles here on the steering wheel. And It works perfectly. It really is the whole package, this car. So that's the 2010 Mercedes-Benz C63 AMG. This car really is the whole package. It's fun, it's practical, it sounds insane, and you can do 0 to 60 in around 4 seconds with back seats and do it in comfort and luxury. It's one of the few cars that have incorporated style and practicality and have pulled it off beautifully. It's almost as if an angry muscle car mated with a luxurious sedan to give us the C63 AMG.